Good morning, good evening, and good day. You're listening to Drama Buds, an anime podcast. So hello everyone, welcome to today's episode of Drama Buds. I remember last year, January was also a really tough month for me, Kdramas wise. I don't know why, something about the selection that time, I just wasn't into it. And this year is also a little bit tough, but I have chosen 3 that I, tried to power through, and some of them I ended up liking and others I think I might have to drop. So, as with my last First Impressions episode on Island, instead of just my thoughts on the show so far and whether or not I'll continue or I'll drop it, I also want to figure out who is this drama for? And I will think of it either in terms of, the demographic maybe that can relate to it, or someone with these kinds of preferences, or similarities to other dramas, or maybe if you wanted a drama to take this approach or to have that kind of storyline instead. So at least when I watch something and I don't like it, even if it's not for me, at least I can maybe recommend it to someone else. For today, I'm going to talk about Payback, Crash Course in Romance, and Strangers Again. So for Payback and Crash Course in Romance, I'm talking about the first 6 episodes. And for Strangers Again, only 4 episodes have been released. And yeah, I think that's it. Let's start with the first impressions. Okay, first up, we have Payback, subtitled Money and Power. This is written by the co-writer of Dots, not Kim Eun-suk, and has the director of the movie The Gangster, the Cop, and the Devil. So, yeah, very action-y, I think. And it stars Lee Sun-kyun, who I've seen in My Mr., Miss Korea, and Dr. Brain. And Moon Chae-won, who we have not seen since Flower of Evil. That's like a million years ago. Welcome back, girl. So, listen to the plot of this. It's a revenge story about someone who got rich through stocks who works with a female prosecutor. And they try to take down a very rich, very powerful person. Sounds kind of familiar, right? Somehow, the elements are all kind of there. Except, instead of waking up in the body of the youngest son of the conglomerate, the only time shenanigans here are in the overuse of flashbacks. Seriously, you can fast forward through most of the first episode. It's just set up and the time jumping is really crazy. You can only tell when it is in the timeline based on Eun-young, Lee Sun-kyun's hairstyle, and how much filter they use on Lee Sun-kyun's face to make him look younger, okay? Really, the first episode is 70% flashbacks. Episode 2 is slightly better. It's only 60% maybe. And episode 3 is even better. It's only 40%. Amazing. In their defense, the flashbacks did serve a purpose, sure. We understood their motivations. We developed an emotional connection to them, sure. But it felt like the actual plot was not moving in the present because we spent so much time just looking at the past. But thankfully, it really picks up in episode 4. And when it picks up, okay? I am surprised that I like this as much as I do. You know me, you know my reservations with action-y shows and revenge shows and money shows. It's really not for me, but I'm surprised I'm enjoying this. Although it is not groundbreaking on any fronts, it really leans into a lot of revenge story cliches of obviously bad, corrupt, greedy, power-hungry villains. And, the backstories and motivations of the protagonists lean into treacly territory. This is a new word I learned. It's overly sentimental and forceful about it. Like you should cry at this moment, or you should feel how close they are and how sentimental everything is. It uses a lot of tropes as a shortcut to, developing attachment to the characters and to what they're attached to. And you know what? It's fine. It's fine. I'll take it. This is more of a heart show than a head show. You know what I mean? It's not trying to be smarter than you. And I think for a revenge story. That's fine, actually. Anyway, despite everything that I've said that may sound like a criticism, which partially it is, I do like the character motivations. I like how the two leads came together in a flashback, of course, when they were teenagers. And immediately when we meet Junkyung, Moon Chae-won's character, in episode 2, instantly you already know she's the super righteous type, the overly righteous type of character. And yet, I like it when those characters are forced to question and betray their sense of justice. Therefore, from now on, they question the way that they live and they don't see themselves as, the same righteous, worthy person as they used to be. I like that because Junkyung has now, she thinks she's a monster already. She's already lost her moral higher ground. So she's willing to get down and dirty for the revenge that she wants. Meanwhile, we have Jang Tae-chun, Eun-young's nephew, who is a new prosecutor and who is similar to Junkyung when she was younger because of his own sense of justice. And now we wonder, will he end up like Junkyung, someone who really is righteous and ended up betraying that sense of justice? Or will he end up like Hwang Gi-sok, this chief prosecutor who was, completely eaten by the system and by the powers above him that manipulate him or tell him to do as they say? Just to further his agenda and to further theirs also. Or will Jang Tae-chun find his own path and maintain his moral compass and his righteousness? Who knows? As for Eun-young, his most important character trait is that he treats everyone as family. Like his actual family that he decided to dedicate his life and all this money he's earning to, the guy he met in juvie and worked with in the gang, the people along the way who got rich with him, and especially Junkyung and Junkyung's mother who stood up for him and became his guardian. He treats everyone with warmth and is willing to go all the way for all of them, so it makes sense that in his quest for revenge, they're all willing to do the same for him, And that's what sets him apart from the villain, because he's also made money through, stock manipulation or whatever. But the point is, he's a rich person too, just like the villain. And yet, the villain uses familial ties and whatever to gain even more money and power. And that's what sets them apart. And then we also have this morally gray sub-villain in Hwang Gi-sok, played by Park Hoon, who I love. He reminds me of Nam Son-ho in My Country, the New Age. We meet him and, he is obviously the bad guy, typical corrupt chief prosecutor. And he's working for the big villain and doing everything to stop the protagonists from succeeding. Okay. But then we get to know his relationship dynamic with the villain, who is his father-in-law. And we see that he is just a pawn in his father-in-law's greed and his wife's, desire for even more power. So the great question with these morally gray characters is, when will they realize that they will never earn the respect and acceptance that they want from the people that they serve? And when they do learn that, eventually, when will they turn over to the good side? Or will they fight for their own desires? At the moment, we're leaning to the fighting for his own desires, which I'm on board. I love it. I support it. Go, yeah. Make this a three-party battle. That's cool with me. The end of episode 6 puts the protagonists at square one, okay? And that's fun. I won't get into episode 7 and 8, but in fairness, it's still not predictable. No one is clearly winning at this point. So good for them. Verdict on the show is I'm gonna finish it. It's only 12 episodes, actually. It's pretty okay. The audience I would recommend this for is for people who found Reborn Rich boring. But they still want a revenge story that deals with, money and getting rich. Like the thrill of watching people get rich. Okay, yeah, some people enjoy that. It's a revenge story with more heart, where the protagonists win, because it is fun to watch them win, but they lose spectacularly. I'm telling you, at some point, I really wondered, how are they gonna get out of this? But okay, yeah, the plot keeps moving. It also has a lot more action and violence, and it's not really a thinking show. I'm telling you, they're not trying to be smarter than you. It's fine. And once again, it's only 12 episodes, so I think as of episode 6 and even as of episode 8, it's moving at a good pace. Next up, we have Crash Course in Romance. So this has the writer of Once Again, Familiar Wife, Weightlifting Fairy Kim Bokchu, Oh My Ghost, High School King of Savvy. I know all of these titles. Wow, I didn't know that was one person. And this has the director of Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha, Hi Bye Mama, The Smile Has Left Your Eyes, Oh My Ghost. Also a director who I pretty much know all their projects. And it stars John Do-yeon, who I've seen in Lost and Emergency Declaration, and Jung Kyung-ho, who I've seen in Hospital Playlist, Prison Playbook, and 2 episodes of Life on Mars, I think. So, it's about the top math instructor in this after-school academy and a former national athlete who now runs a banchan or a side dish store and takes care of her daughter. So Hei, her daughter, does well in school without having a tutor or a private academy, but she decides one day that she wants to enroll in Trichiol's math class. And that's kind of what starts the plot. Of course, Trichiol has a traumatic past and he struggles to sleep and to eat, but for some reason, he only likes Hengsun's food. And of course, that's because of a childhood or a teenage connection. You know how it is. But, that's for another discussion. Anyway, basically, a lot of things happen. But at the moment, the current state of their relationship is Hei is being tutored by Chiol in exchange for Hengsun's food. Yeah, basically that's where we are by the end of episode 6. Now, the good stuff first. Even with that description, I'm pretty sure you can tell that this is a run-of-the-mill rom-com formula-ish, but with leads above the age of 35. Amazing! Like, for that in itself, I was excited for this. They get to act silly, they don't need to run themselves to the ground screaming and crying just to get a good project. It's very lighthearted, and it's fun to watch them. John Do-yeon and Jung Kyung-ho are perfectly cast. Their back and forth delivery, great. The comedic chemistry is there. The physical comedy that these two do is also really great. Jung Kyung-ho is so skinny and so wimpy. He has really great comedic timing. I've only actually ever seen him in comedic roles, but he's great at it. I also love the backstory that they've given Hengsun and Hei and how, Hei is a good kid, right? Who appreciates her mother. So Hengsun has the heartwarming aspect of the show. She's very heartwarming. And it's good that her family life is great and warm and loving because there's enough conflict elsewhere. And my God, here we go. Okay, now we have to talk about the 2 million other things going on in this show. We have the Sky Castle-esque moms. You know how they are. And they're bratty kids who are scheming with each other or on their own, for their own gain. We have Hei's classmates. Some are her friends. And she has her little love triangle, which is, it's fine. It's okay. And her academic rival, who is one of the children of the Sky Castle moms. And then one of her friends has this working mom who's kind of antagonized by the Sky Castle moms. And her marriage is falling apart. And she's pressuring her son to do well in his exams. And she also has another son, an older son, that she's hiding from everyone because she tells everyone else that, oh yeah, he's studying in an Ivy League university, but he's not. And that hidden son, of course, he's incredibly suspicious. And they're very heavily implying that he's the guy shooting metal balls at Chiol and trying to murder him. Oh, right. I forgot to mention. Yeah, there's a murder plot. And there's a kid that Chiol was teaching that already died. Oh, but hey, that's not the only child that's died in this story. His student died years ago. And her little brother was accused of killing their mother because their mother was apparently pressuring her daughter so much. And so the young son, who was 12-ish years old, could have killed his mother. Oh, really? And wait, you thought that was just a flashback thing? No. The detective that's investigating the child that recently died is probably gonna go back and dig into that previous case of Chiol's first student who died. And okay, we're on Chiol's side of the story, right? He has online haters, and these haters are led by a teacher in Hei's school who knew Chiol since long ago, probably trained as a teacher with him, and hates that he succeeded by leaving the education system to go into private schooling. or something like that. Am I missing anything, guys? Please help me out, because this was a struggle to even recall and to decide, like, should I put this character or not? It's as you see, a lot is going on in this show, not just the romance. And I think that's why I'm not enjoying it. Yeah, I'm actually not enjoying this show all that much. I noticed this with Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha, which has the same PD. It's always 15 minutes longer than I think it has to be. And listing all of these characters and conflicts down, I see that they are trying to fill that time with as many plot lines as they can. But it doesn't give, the, oh my god, I can't breathe, I'm so curious about everything and everyone vibe. Like, I think that's what I'm supposed to feel when you're giving me so much. I just think this is keeping me from the romance. I wanted the romance and nothing else. Because, I anticipated that, of course, the male lead will have some trauma and the female lead will experience some difficulties as an outsider in the world of these very hands-on Sky Castle-esque moms. I just didn't think it would be all of this, I guess I wanted a pure rom-com, but this is rom-com plus family drama plus academic rivalry makjang plus a murder mystery thriller, I guess. But okay, stop to look at it for what it is and not what I expected it or what I wanted it to be. It is the type of show where all these plot lines are chopped up and given to you little by little, all in one episode. Alright? Every plot line is moving little by little in every episode. So it feels like each of these stories, they're barely moving. Though I don't think any of the plot lines are particularly bad. They are very one-dimensional. That's why I don't see any characters like a villain, a serious villain. I just see it as a nuisance before we get to the happier parts. Like, these Sky Castle mothers just exist to make their lives difficult. But they're not interesting to watch in themselves because they're like complex and they really bring something new and interesting to the Sky Castle-esque mom kind of archetype. Even if I skip scenes and watch only those that feature the leads and Heng-sun's family and Wichil's assistant, so the wholesome, happier part of the show, that's still only 30 minutes out of 75. And it's also 16 episodes long. You know how I feel about 16-episode rom-coms. I just don't think they should be that long anymore. But, it's not just a rom-com, right? It's rom-com, family, academic rivalry, thriller. So, I'm starting to wonder, what came first? The desire to have all of these plot lines all at once? Or the need to fill up all this airtime? It's very chicken or the egg for me. Anyway, the verdict is that I think I am dropping. I think I might have to. I like the actors and I want to support them. And I want production people and writers to know that we want middle-aged romance. We want it. We want more of it. But it's just, I have to get through all the other stuff before I get to barely any romance. I mean, I guess I can continue and just keep it in the background and just skip around when I pay attention. But is that how I want to live my life? I'm sure there are other shows that I can keep in the background that I may enjoy even more. Anyway, audience for this, I would recommend this to people who want to support middle-aged rom-coms. That's right. We gotta show them that we want this. And also, okay, this is for people who don't like rom-coms that are just purely fluff and silliness, okay? And you like conflict. Like, it is possible that you want your rom-com to have all of this other stuff. Yeah, valid. That's valid. I feel like this is a return to the 2016 to 2018 rom-com formula, which makes sense given that this is the writer of Weightlifting Fairy, Kim Bok-joo. Like, that checks. That totally checks. Also, vibe-wise, this kind of reminds me of 18 again. I think that's why I don't want to rewatch 18 again, because I don't want it to, go lower in my ranking because I realized that it's not as good as I initially watched. But yeah, that's the kind of show where you think it's about the romance, right? Supposedly, but then it is hit with this crazy premise, and then we get to know the family lives, the student lives, and it's really more than just the two of them getting together. So yeah, I think this has some similarities to 18 again, if you like that. And lastly, we have Strangers Again. This is written by a rookie writer. The director has mostly done movies I've never heard of. And it stars Kang Sora, who I've last seen in Miseng a million years ago. And Jang Song-jo, who I saw in Chocolate. And I know The Good Detective is on Netflix. It's about a divorced couple who now have to work together as divorce lawyers in the same firm. Now, I expected this to be, a rom-com, enemies-ish to lovers rom-com with a lot of silliness and bickering and some angst as these two clear their misunderstandings and get back together. But alas, just like Love is for Suckers and Another Miss O, this is a lot angstier than it was initially marketed as. The first 2 episodes are very heavy on Ohara, or Kang Sora's character, her perspective. It felt like it would be an episodic show where they deal with divorce cases and slowly reflect on how their relationship fell apart and how their divorce affected them afterwards. In that aspect, I was glad that it was more meaningful than I expected. It wasn't like pure silly rom-com. They were still bickering, which is, that's what I thought they would do. And it still felt like I was watching the premise that I came here for. But coming into episodes 3 and 4 and having a more serious and more personal case kind of dragged this into angst territory. As we discover exactly why they got a divorce, we start to realize that they both suck. Both of them suck. Goonbom, Jang Song-jo's character, he sucks for the way he refused to communicate his feelings during their marriage and wrecked Hara's self-esteem for the sake of getting a divorce. Ohara sucks for, how inconsiderate she was during their marriage, sure, and also for being so petty and unethical on a custody case that involved a child's life. They both suck, and I respect that. I can deal with unlikable leads as long as the show isn't siding with anyone, isn't pretending that one person is right, because both of them, they're both wrong in this situation. And I like that even if the way they kind of showed their marriage falling apart, it was from Unbom's POV, we also saw Hara acknowledging that, maybe I did have some part in it. But looking at it now, episode 4 was not fun. And I don't really know how it's going to be fun in the future, given the preview. They introduced second male and second female leads. And I hate it. I hate that. I hate second leads. They're just a contrived way of dragging the separation for much longer. But in the show's defense, another translation of the title is Can We Be Strangers? And I guess that's a better title. Because we have to ask, can they really live separate lives from now on? So them getting into new relationships is perfectly fair. Frustrating, but fair. And it's still aligned with the premise of the show, I guess. But do I really want to watch a romance where two people don't end up together? Where I wanted them to end up together and then they don't. I feel like I should root for them to end up together. Sorry, that's my principle with romance. So, I don't know what to feel about that, even if it is still true to its theme and its premise. Do I want to experience that? Also, I will completely be skipping the scenes of the second couple. We not only have second leads, we have an entirely separate second couple. Because I hate second couples. I hate it when they have nothing to do with the main leads and they have their own separate story. And why? This is only a 12-episode drama and you still need fillers like that? Come on. I guess that is the saving grace of the show though, that it's only 12 episodes. It will probably devolve further. It will probably get worse. But at least it won't waste 16 hours of my life. The verdict is I'm dropping this. I would recommend this to younger millennials, maybe late 20s, early 30s, who have doubts about the life timeline that older generations have set for all of us, even for me, Gen Z. Because this show and these characters really affirm a lot of those hesitations about marriage and living with someone and having kids. And if you enjoy shutting people down when they have very conservative or old-fashioned views, I think you will enjoy how this show does it. I feel like it really pushes back on that conservative or that old-fashioned timeline. So I think those people, that demographic, will enjoy that discussion. So that's it for me today. I told you I have been struggling to watch K-dramas recently. I don't know. I'm waiting for several dramas to come back. Island and The Glory will come back in a few weeks. So yay, something to look forward to. And I think there are some that are lined up in Feb that I'm interested in. But so far, the January lineup is not for me. And there's one that I really wanted to watch, Agency with Lee Boyong. Recently, it just hit double-digit ratings, so I'm so annoyed that official subs are not out yet. So yeah, that sucks. But yeah, so far not so great this month. But hey, I hope that despite my reservations and criticisms of some of these, maybe some of you are still enticed to try it out. Like, if you fit with the audience that I think this is for, please try it. And yeah, I hope you enjoy. Because this is meant to be enjoyed. And if you didn't know, Payback, Money and Power is on Prime Video. Crash Course in Romance is on Netflix. And Strangers Again is on Viki. So go check those out if you're interested. But yeah, that's it for me today. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for tuning in. Feel free to leave a comment, like, subscribe, follow, and tell me what you thought about today's episode. See you soon!